Did you know that the words you use can be a game changer on whether or not you stay sick or get better, or even just making the process of getting better easier or harder on yourself? That's what I want to talk about in this video. I recently sent out an email to my email list with just one of these language patterns that I'm going to talk to you about today. And I got so many emails back about the ahas people had, about, wow, I had no idea that I was saying this, and now that I understand it and recognize it, it has made such a difference in how I'm approaching my diet or my lifestyle or whatever. So I wanted to go ahead and share these with you and add a whole bunch of other ones that I think are really instrumental in really how your outcome will be. The words you use have a very powerful effect on your day-to-day life. And a lot of times these words are very unconscious. You don't even realize you're saying them, and they're just something that you just do. But you are saying them and they bring on a feeling within your body, and they can actually change your actions that go up afterwards. And that can make or break whether or not you are going to succeed with your goals. So to give you an example, the example that I used in that email was, do you say things like, if you're on AIP or PALEO or just on any sort of restricted diet at all, do you say things like, I can't eat that, I can't eat gluten, I can't eat dairy, I can't have that, blah, blah, blah? Do you say that kind of stuff? How does that make you feel? Does it make you feel very restricted? Like you can't have something, right? And we always want to do what we are told not to do. It's just the rebels within us. And that is making it so much harder on you because you're constantly fighting against this invisible force, which is still you, that is saying that you can't have something. But if you look at it a different way and say, I choose not to eat gluten, I choose not to eat dairy, or whatever it is, doesn't that feel different in your body? Doesn't it open up more possibility and put the responsibility back on you? It feels so much better, doesn't it? I choose not to eat that. Nobody's telling you you can't. Even if you're deathly allergic to peanut, you could choose to eat them. I don't know why you would, but you could choose to eat them, right? No one is really telling you that you can't, because you're an adult and you can make these decisions for yourself. It might be the stupidest decision you've ever made to choose to eat something, but you still have that choice. So then when you're talking about restrictions in the sense of, I'm trying to heal my autoimmune disease and feel better, then when you choose to do that, you choose to eat these foods that are going to bring you nourishment, that are not going to bring inflammation upon your body, and that are going to help you with your immune system starting to regulate and stop attacking your own tissues. The same thing goes with saying things like, I have to do this diet. Even if your doctor or your functional medicine practitioner or somebody told you that you need to go on this diet to get better, you don't have to, right? Again, you can make your own decision. But if you say, I choose to go on this diet, again, the responsibility shifts from a not really on you onto you, but then you also are an active participant in it. And it's like you're co-creating this goal for yourself. Instead of having someone or something going against you at all times, telling that you have to, you choose to. And it just feels so much more freeing and open, and like there's possibilities. And you can apply this to any of those things that you feel like you have to. I have to work out. I have to meditate. I have to, right? You never have to. And this also applies to things like should. I should meditate. I should work out. Again, how's that feel in your body? It feels heavy, right? Like you saw my shoulders, they immediately just went down. I should do that. It brings up shame. It brings up all of those negative emotions that just make you feel like you just are a failure, and that you know, they feed off of each other. And then you start feeling like you're not worth doing anything or worth your goals because you should do these things and you don't do them, right? It's just such a bad feeling. But if you change that to could, how's that feel? I could meditate, probably brings up more possibilities, right? I could, but it still feels a little bit heavy, but there is some more choice in there. And then maybe try changing that to I can meditate. Yeah. I mean, there's still choice in there, right? You're not saying I can't, and you're not saying I should, but you have more ability, more freedom. I can meditate. It feels like there's a lot more possibility and a lot more hope. So do you see how these language patterns can really affect your attitude, your feeling in your body, your motivation, and just everything about what you're trying to do to get to your goals? It makes a big difference, right? Another thing I wanted to talk about too is using negatives. Now, our subconscious doesn't really process negatives very, very efficiently. And to use a classic example, don't think of a blue tree. What did you just do? You probably thought of a blue tree, right? I mean, that's what your brain has to do. It has to think of the blue tree before it can not think of the blue tree. When you're thinking of things like, I don't want to feel sick anymore, what do you think your brain's thinking? I want to feel sick anymore. It has to erase that not because it doesn't understand it. It has to envision you feeling sick in order to not envision you feeling sick. So by saying things like, I don't want to feel sick anymore, I don't want to feel tired anymore, like that is not helping you in any way. And it could potentially be keeping you sick because your brain and your subconscious likes to do what you want it to do, right? It's like a little puppy. It wants to serve you. And when you're saying things like, I don't want to feel sick, it's going to give you the I want you to feel sick. And that's not a good thing. So then maybe you'll switch to saying things like, so I want to feel better. But that's not great either, because what does better mean? Better relative to what? Better relative to like, you're stuck in bed and you can't get out? Well, what would that look like? That you can get out of bed, but then you're tired the entire time? That's not necessarily what you want either, right? It's much better to be specific. To give another example, say, I want more money. And then you go and you find a penny on the street. Not quite what you were envisioning probably, right? So it's the same thing with health. I want to feel better. It's just not exactly the best way to frame that. Instead, be a lot more specific. I want to be able to go for 10-mile walks twice a week while all of my joints feel great and I have plenty of energy and don't need to take a 17-hour nap afterwards. So whatever it is, but be very specific in what your goal is and what you want, because that's going to be so much more powerful, both for you and your brain, to really go after that goal. Pay attention to the things that you say, both out loud to other people and to yourself. And hear yourself when you say things like, I have to, or I can't, or I don't, or I should. Just all of these disempowering words that are keeping you stuck in places that you really don't want to be. Instead, use the more empowering versions of these things. I choose to, I could, or I can. These are going to be things that are going to be so much better for you. And then remember to be specific about what you want. The vague, ambiguous words like better are just not serving you in the way that you are expecting them to. So be specific, and I think that you're going to find that you're going to achieve your goals so much faster and really feel better. But really, these are the kind of things that really do keep you sick. So I hope this helps. And if you really like this sort of thing, check out this video that I did with Eileen Laird of Phoenix Helix about other tools that help you thrive with your autoimmune disease. I'll see you next time.